Far away.
The soul, when it is incarnating, is completely happy with its own condition, or does not.
Yes.
Because sometimes
when you say completely happy, it's not even aware of its own condition just before incarnation, because remember, it doesn't have any self-awareness yet. It gains self-awareness through the process of incarnation. The soul, though, is in a pristine condition without awareness. So in other words, it doesn't have emotional injuries like the rest, that we gain during the process of incarnation. And to be honest, we only gain those emotional injuries because of the emotional injuries of the environment in which we're incarnating. If the environment was free of emotional injuries, then the soul would go through this beautiful process of becoming self-aware without having to also go through absorbing lots and lots of emotional injuries.
Yeah, this was going to be my question, because sometimes, for example, if you are bipolar or if you are just homosexual, they meet a lot of prejudices, a lot of judgment, and then it might not be a very happy situation anymore. So that's why my question.
Well, it's only not all unhappiness on the earth is created by our emotional injuries. It's not created by love. So God creates all these beautiful things from a state of love, creates all this beautiful variety from a state of love, and it's only the environment in which the soul is incarnating that causes it to actually to attract, or usually through the parents' emotions again, attract judgmental conditions. So you're right, many homosexuals and lesbians in the past have attracted much judgment. And a lot of that is to confront us. We need to be confronted in our concepts of what God's variety of creation is. And unfortunately, for the majority of people on the planet, we're very resistive to confronting our belief systems. And God is creating variety constantly in order to confront our belief systems, actually, to help us confront the systems of belief that we have. And part of the confrontation of that is the fact that there are some souls that are homosexual and some souls that are lesbian in nature, in the sense, from God's perspective, it's not really a homosexual or lesbian either. It's not really a label like that, which we'll discuss in a minute. We'll talk about the soulmate, the pure soulmate attraction in a minute. But the reality is, when it does attract the bodies, it does attract two female or two male bodies, and therefore we view it here on earth as a homosexual or lesbian relationship. But the reality is, every relationship God created is actually a soulmate relationship. So in other words, God doesn't differentiate between a homosexual soulmate relationship, a lesbian soulmate relationship, or a heterosexual soulmate relationship. To God, they are all just one thing, and that is a soulmate relationship. That's all. The two halves of the soul slowly joining together. So there's no, in the spirit world in particular, there's no labels like that.
So, yeah, there's no preference. In our pure state, it's not that I prefer men or I'm attracted to men. In my pure state, I'm attracted to my soulmate.
Who happens to be male.
It is a male, but I could be what the world would label homosexual. But in my pure state, I would just only have an attraction to my soulmate who happens to be female. Yeah.
Does that make sense? Yeah. And we want to talk more about that as an introduction, going through this process of what sexual attraction is all about. Yeah. All right. Any other questions? If we come the mic down here and then...